So one of the most fascinating pieces of evidence for evolution comes from homology. So not just in adult anatomy, but also in embryological development. So despite their differences as adults, all vertebrates, fish, frogs, reptiles, birds, us, we share striking similarities at early stages of development. At some point in their embryonic growth, every vertebrate has a post-anal tail. So that's just a tail that extends beyond the anus. And it also has pharyngeal pouches, which are just grooves in the region of the developing throat. So in fish and amphibian larvae, these pouches become functional gills that are going to be used for breathing in water. But in humans and other land vertebrates, these same structures transform into completely different organs. So for example, in humans, the first pharyngeal pouch is going to become the middle ear and the auditory tube. The second pharyngeal pouch becomes the tonsils, and the third and fourth develop into parts of the thymus and the parathyroid glands. So these aren't random transformations, they're examples of how new structures evolve by modifying old ones. So the genetic and developmental blueprint does get reused and reshaped over time. So the significance of developmental similarities lies in what they reveal about the shared ancestry. So the fact that vertebrate embryos follow the same basic plan early on means they inherited that plan from a common ancestor. So the more closely related two organisms are, the longer their embryonic stages stay similar. So for instance, human embryos look more like chicken embryos than fish embryos at later stages, which matches the evolutionary tree that places birds and mammals closer together than either is to fish. So these shared developmental pathways also highlight how evolution conserves effective structures. Natural selection doesn't start from scratch, so it works what's already there, tweaking it for new functions. Okay, so moving from embryos to molecules, we get another powerful line of evidence, and that's from molecular biology. So all living organisms, plants, bacteria, animals, fungi, use the same fundamental biochemical molecules like DNA, ATP, and a lot of the same enzymes. So this biochemical unity strongly supports the idea that all life evolved from a common ancestor. If life had originated multiple times independently, we wouldn't expect such remarkable molecular consistency. So one of the most convincing examples of molecular evidence involves developmental genes, especially a family known as the Hox genes. So these genes control the body plan of an embryo and determine where limbs, segments, and organs will form. What's amazing is that the Hox genes are found in everything from fruit flies to humans, and their sequences are incredibly similar. So that means a tiny change in a shared gene can lead to massive differences in body shape and function. And this is how vast biological diversity has emerged from small genetic variations. Another molecular clue comes from studying cytochrome C, and this is a protein that's involved in the electron transport chain, which is essential for cellular respiration. So every organism that breathes oxygen uses some form of cytochrome C. When scientists compare its amino acid sequence in different species, they find a pattern. The more closely related two species are, the more similar their sequences are. So for example, human cytochrome C is almost identical to that of chimpanzees and slightly less similar to that of frogs, and even more different from yeast. So this molecular comparison mirrors what we see in anatomical and fossil evidence, reinforcing the evolutionary relationships suggested by other data. So the significance of these biochemical differences is huge. It shows that evolution works not just on bones or visible traits, but also at the molecular level, where even slight changes in DNA and proteins can lead to significant evolutionary shifts. So it helps scientists construct what we call phylogenetic trees, so family trees of life, by comparing molecular data alongside physical traits. So in short, whether we're looking at embryos, proteins, or DNA, the message is consistent. Life is deeply connected. All species are variations on a common genetic theme shaped over time by natural selection, environmental pressures, and random mutation. So the deeper we look, the more clearly we can see that evolution is really in every part of life, from the earliest stages of development to the tiniest molecules in our cell.